Hello and welcome to Shipmove, and I'm here to demonstrate an informal run-through of the Shipmove Mooring App. Go straight to the opening screen. After a couple of seconds the calculation screen will open. So we're going to, on this occasion, model a bulk carrier, and we're going to say that its length is 218 meters, so a typical Panamax bulker. If we don't know the beam, the app will calculate a likely maximum, but in this case we're going to assume that we know she's a 32 meter beam with 12 meters draft. We're going to model a part loaded condition, no containers obviously with it being a bulk carrier, and if we knew the wind area we could input it into the light blue optional boxes, but in this case you can see already that the app has calculated the wind areas of 3,403 meters for the side and 1,140 meters for the end of the vessel. Now we have to input the wind speed that we want modeled, and we're going to say it's going to be 35 knots and the current will be 1.5 knots. See that already the app has calculated the maximum aggregate wind forces on the vessel. It's been 63 tons on the side, 21 tons on the end, and a current force of 12 tons on the end of the vessel. The app has then combined these into vessel forces. If we don't know the mooring angles, the app will default to 60 degrees, but assume that we're going to keep all the breast lines within 45 degrees of the ideal, which is perpendicular to the vessel, and all of the spring lines will be within 15 degrees of the longitudinal. It's in line with the vessel. Then the app will apply the appropriate factors to the forces to give us the mooring capacity required, namely 53.6 tons in the breast direction each end and 34.3 tons in the spring direction each end. If we knew the braking load or the braking strain of the ropes, we could enter here in the pale blue optional boxes, but you can see the app has estimated from an equipment number, which it has also calculated, that the ropes will be approximately 68 tons braking strain. However, if we knew the material of the ropes, and we're going to say that this vessel has 80mm polypropylene lines, you can see that the app will calculate that, and we're going to say that the vessel has 38mm springs, wire springs, into those, and the app has calculated the spring line minimum braking load using international standards. A reminder then of what braking strains are being used for the calculations of 64 tons for the breast lines and 83 tons for the springs. And this now shows us the minimum ropes to be deployed, which are 2 breast lines each end and 1 spring each end. The app then gives a recommended deployment, allowing a single line redundancy, so if one rope fails for whatever reason it doesn't compromise the whole mooring array, and that is 3 breast lines and 2 springs. You'll also note that the app has calculated a maximum wind for this deployment of 38 knots. So if we go back to the environmental conditions and we increase the wind speed to say 42 knots, which is above the maximum, we can see that the rope deployment has been increased to 3 and 2 each end as a minimum and 4 and 3 as a recommendation. So that was the calculation. It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to give you the appropriate answers. That's some other features on the app. We have here the key, which is the required input, optional input and output. We also have the export button, which allows you to send these results to an email address of your choice. This can be to a third party or for your own records or for audit purposes. And you can see there that the email is already pre-formatted, just ready to send. Also in the app we have the menu button at the top, which shows us various aspects of the app. It has the basic principles, It has practical assumptions, what it's expected of the crew, and the layout of the ropes. The units used, which are all in common parlance, tons and meters, etc. Any limitations where the app may not apply. An explanation of the inputs, both the compulsory inputs and the optional inputs. An explanation of the outputs and what they mean. The terms of use, which, as this is not our first use, it's shown that I've already accepted those terms of use. In the first use, you'd have to accept those terms before you proceed. And then there is a link to the privacy policy, which is held on Shipmove's website. So that's it. A quick run through of the app. Hope you like it. Links on this page as to where you may download it. Thank you.